Which direct sales company should you join? Okay, so there's hundreds of direct selling, MLM, home party business. Again, they're all the same thing. I don't know which name you call it. There's hundreds. Okay, so you might have one you're already thinking about joining and you love it already. But here's a couple things to consider before you start a direct selling home party business, multi-level marketing, etc. Which company? Okay, first of all, the number one criteria I think is you must believe in the product. I think that's fairly obvious. Hopefully you all understand that. You don't want to start one with a product that you're pretty indifferent about. I mean, there's lots of wonderful products, but I'm not going to be interested in a lot of them, frankly. Okay, first of all, a lot of them are targeted at women. And let me introduce myself and tell you why I'm here making videos about this. My wife and I are... Scentsy. She's the Scentsy consultant. She's the face. I help her with everything, but she's the Scentsy consultant. If you're not familiar with Scentsy, you can check it out. I'll give you a link later. But I think I've got enough experience to have some authority to make these videos, so I started making some. Feel free to comment below if you have any thoughts. But my name's Jared. My wife's name is Christy, and we've been doing Scentsy since 2012, and we love it. I've never been happier. I was able to quit my job a couple years ago. But anyways, back to what the point of this video is. You got to be passionate about the product. You got to believe in it. You've got to see the benefits to other people. And it could be whatever. It could be Scentsy, or if you don't know Scentsy, it's a wickless candle. We have warmers and scented wax, and then a whole line of other fragrance products. But it could be makeup, it could be clothing, it could be a nutritional product. There's hundreds of companies, self-defense. I don't know, I'm blanking right now, but you guys know, tons of them. You also need to feel that you can sell it. So what I mean by that is you might be passionate about it, but you have to be able to educate others about it. And it depends on what it is. Some things are easy to educate. Some things everyone knows. That Tupperware, Mary Kay, they've been around forever. Everyone knows what they are. They may or may not want to buy it, but they know of it. So you have to decide, can I sell this? Okay, and sometimes you just need to try. It's a low barrier of entry. It doesn't cost much to start, so you can try and see. Something I would consider is I like the fact that what we sell is a consumable. People use it. They need more. They come get some more. My son's over here playing with the dog, so excuse me for being a little distracted sometimes. But anyways, so I like the consumables. I just think it's a no-brainer. They get hooked on it and they keep coming back. A couple things I want to mention that I've seen a lot of people get interested in, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on it. I see a lot of people that want to get in on the ground floor. Okay, so there's, like I said, there are literally hundreds of direct selling companies. You may not know them all, but there are hundreds. And there's new ones. It's business people create new ones all the time and say, let's try ours. Scentsy's only been around 15 years, so they tried that 15 years ago. So there's new ones all the time, and I do see a lot of excitement. People want to get in on the ground floor. Whatever. I don't share that excitement. I'll tell you why. Now we're throwing toys. When you join whatever, you're on the ground floor for your business. So when my wife joined Scentsy had been around like 7 or 8 years when she joined. But none of her friends, none of our circles of influence had a Scentsy consultant, so it was the ground floor for our business. And I really believe that for anything. You're getting in on the ground floor of your business. If you want to start one, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you the main thing is you love the product and you believe in it. Whether it's the ground floor for the company or not, it's the ground floor for you. Another thing to consider is some of the companies don't last. So you get in on the ground floor and 3 years later, the company may not exist. But I'm not trying to disparage any, but that does happen. Okay, another fear I hear a lot. People think, oh, it's so saturated. So many people are doing Scentsy. Or whatever, I'm sorry. So my wife, within like 2 miles of our house, we have like 4 team members. And if you look at their Facebook friends and my wife's Facebook friends, they have like 5 Facebook friends in common or less. And most of those are the other team members that my wife introduced them all to each other, so they're now Facebook friends. So my wife has like 1,500 Facebook friends. This person might have 500, this person might have 800, and they have nobody in common. So even though they all live around us, the market is not saturated. Okay, now I'm not going to say it could never be possible, but I could say it's usually not an issue. And I'll tell you, between you and me, a lot of people don't work their business. So you could join something and there's, you can live in a small town of 2,000 people and you might know 10 consultants for something, but I'll bet you 8 of them don't work their business. They do the minimum. They're barely ever putting in orders. And so that makes it, not that you're stealing customers, but that when people want to buy something, they want to buy it. They don't want to buy it 6 weeks from now when you're ready to put in an order. So if you're working your business, it's never been an issue for us. I'm not going to say it can't be an issue, but just something to think about. Another thing I would think about is the quota, the requirements. What is it for you to remain active? Because a lot of people join and then a year or two later they're out. They're not doing it anymore. They're not a consultant because they didn't meet whatever requirement. And that happens. That's the life. I mean, that's the majority of people, in fact. But if you want to be serious and you want to take it seriously, there's a couple things you want to consider. I think most of the quotas, or whatever they want to call them, they don't like to use the word quota, the requirements, whatever. Most of them are very, very reasonable if you're working your business. If you're just asking your mom and sister and they don't want to buy anymore, you're probably going to have a hard time. But you need to work your business, and they're very reasonable. I mean, we haven't thought about those for years. Since like the first 6 months, it's never been an issue because we just have customers coming back and we are way over the quota all the time. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm just saying if you work your business, it's not a big deal. I know some companies have very, very low or no quotas. I frankly, something to think about. Okay, I would steer away from that. That's not as attractive as you think, and here's why. I'm going to back up to what I said about saturated. And I don't want to name any names, but I know there are some companies that have been around for a long time. And I mean, everybody knows somebody who does it. Because once they sign up, it's very easy for them to keep their status or whatever vocabulary they use, remain active, whatever. They can still be a consultant if they do almost nothing. Well, that makes it hard for me to sell that product because everyone I know knows somebody who does it. They might not hardly sell at all, but that person already buys it from them. So I actually think that quotas and requirements are very good for my business because the consultants who aren't working shouldn't, this is my opinion, they should not get to keep taking customers away from me and my wife. If they're hardly doing any, it's not an issue with us because our company doesn't allow for that. The quota is very, very minimal, but you have to be working your business a little bit to remain active. And if you're not working enough to remain active, I'm going to get you customers. Not trying to be mean, but that's the truth. We're working our business. If you're not, you shouldn't get to keep the customers. That's my opinion. So when you see somebody trying to sell you on their opportunity because the quota is so low, or there is no quota, there is no requirement, that's fine if you don't want to work a business, okay? If you just want to do it as a hobby and you don't want to make much money, and whatever. I'm not going to discourage you either way, one way or the other. Ultimately, you got to love the product. So if it's the product you love, don't worry about whether they have a quota or not. But when you join, you have to work. No matter what company you join, no matter what product you sell, you need to do work. Treat it like a job. Treat it like it is your business. Don't treat it. It is your business, so you treat it like your business and work. Otherwise, you will not be doing it long and you won't make any money, or you won't make very much. Okay, so that's it. Which company should you choose? Number one, I'm sorry. I got to back up. Here's my commercial. If you found this interesting at all, here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. Feel free. Feel free if you want to buy something. But if you would do me the favor, just go to this website. This is my wife's website, buyandsellsense.us. I'll put a link down below, but just go there for me if you don't mind. Leave your browser open for a couple minutes. Click a couple links on the site, a couple products. That helps us because the more people that visit our website, and you don't have to stay on there 10 minutes. Please just at least a minute, though. If you just stay on there 2 seconds. Okay. We're getting tired. Go to the website for me. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to buy something, that's even better. Okay, but I'm going to wrap it up. You got to love the product. You got to feel you can sell it. Oh, come on, buddy. Come here. Consumable, I think, is great. I don't care whether you get it on the ground floor or not. It is your ground floor. And saturated market, you saw my thoughts on that. I don't think it's ever saturated. I mean, yes, it could be, but most of the time it's not. And the quota, I think quotas are good, actually, as long as they're reasonable. Okay, thanks again. Again, please visit my wife's website, buyandsellsense.us. Link down below, again, like I said. My name's Jared. My wife is Christy. And put comments down below if you want. Subscribe. Feel free to subscribe. Give me some ideas if you want our thoughts on anything. We've tried almost all the strategies out there. One thing I will say, I see lots of training videos. I've been in person training. I used to work in sales in another field, and we do sales with Sensi. We get lots of training. They're always telling you this is how it works. This is exactly the 3 steps to do it. It'll succeed. I wish trainers would always say, this is what works for my personality. This is what works for me. This may or may not work for you. I hate training that says this is all you need to do, because you know what? You don't have the same personality as me. You don't, or my wife. You don't have the same skill sets, knowledge base, and frankly, things that work for a little guy or a 2-year-old or a 20-year-old or a 50-year-old, they're different. You have different circles of influence. So whatever works for somebody in their 20s may not work for somebody in their 40s. Because their friends are different. You know, social media is different when you're 40 than when you're 20. So I'll make lots of videos, or I'll make some videos. I don't know how many, we'll see. But let me know your thoughts. But just know that what works for us may or may not work for you. All right, you want to say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Okay, thank you for watching. Again, subscribe if you would like. Please visit the website, etc., etc. That's it. Okay, bye-bye.